Hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you how to turn an old shirt into a retro style gathered skirt. That's today on Refashioning with Rachel. First, cut the sleeves off of your shirt and set them aside. Then fold up the collar and draw in a straight line beneath the collar and cut. I have a pocket on the front of my shirt. I chose to keep it, but you can remove yours if you want to. Then draw in some straight lines that go from the bottom to the top of the shirt and cut. And set these pieces aside for now. Moving on to the sleeves, cut off the cuffs and cut open the underarm seam. We want to get a symmetrical piece out of the sleeve, but we want to avoid the button placket. So fold over the longer part of the sleeve until it just hits the button placket and cut out the other half. And with the remaining part of the sleeve, we are going to attach it to the top of this piece to make it a bit longer. So place them right sides together and straighten out the raw edges and pin in place. And repeat those steps with the other sleeve. And sew these extensions to these pieces. I used a serger to finish off my raw edges for this project, but if you don't have a serger, you can just use a zigzag stitch. Now iron these pieces so that they lie nice and flat. And this would be a good time to iron all of the panels for the skirt. Now with the smaller panels, we want them to be straight and symmetrical. So use a straight edge to cut out a nice straight line. Now pin all of the panels together with right sides facing, starting with the smaller pieces, making sure the bottoms of the panels are lined up. and sew. Then iron those seams. Fold the skirt in half and draw in a slightly curved line at the top for the waist. And cut. And draw in some marks around the bottom of the skirt that are all the same distance away from the waist. Connect those marks with a slightly curved line and cut. And now you should have a nice A-line skirt. At the top of the skirt, sew in a basting stitch, which is the longest straight stitch your machine can do, and make sure you don't go backwards and forwards at the beginning and the end. With the scraps that you have left over from the shirt, cut out a bunch of 3-inch wide strips. Until you have enough to make one long strip, the length of your waist plus a couple of inches. Sew together the ends of these pieces. Iron the seams flat. And fold down and iron a 1/2 inch all along one side of the strip. Measure and make a mark a 1/2 inch away from one end of the strip. Add your waist measurement plus the width of the button placket and make another mark. And then make one more mark a 1/2 inch away from that mark and trim at that point. Find the center of the waistband and make a mark at that point. And make a mark from the center to the end of the waistband on each side. So now the waistband should be separated into 4 equal sections. And similarly with the top of the skirt, fold it in half and make a mark at the center back. And then fold in each side to the center and make a mark there on each side of the skirt to separate it into 4 equal sections. Now pull on one of the basting stitch threads to gather up the top of the skirt until it is about as wide as the waistband. Then pin the right non-folded side of the waistband to the wrong side of the skirt, lining up all of the marks that you made in the waistband and the skirt. And sew. Work with 1/4 section at a time, evening out the gathers as you sew. Then pull out the basting stitch threads. Now on each end of the waistband, you should have about 1/2 inch of overhang. Fold the waistband with right sides together so that the two folds line up, and make a stitch right along the line of the button placket, but don't sew on the button placket. Then turn the waistband right side out and use something pointy to poke out the corner. And pull the folded edge of the waistband over all of the raw edges of the skirt and pin it in place, and do the same thing on the other side of the waistband. I'm drawing in a line here so you can see more clearly where to make the stitch. Now tuck all the raw edges underneath the fold and pull the fold over to just past the previous stitching line, and sew the waistband to the right side of the skirt, making the stitch very close to the folded edge. If you wanted to make a stronger waistband, you could add some interfacing, but I didn't bother with that in this case. Now iron the waistband so that it lies nice and flat. And sketch in a line for a buttonhole and a dot for a button, which you can harvest off of one of the cuffs. Sew in the buttonhole according to your machine's specifications. And sew in your button. At this point, you can try on the skirt and decide if you want it to be any shorter. I decided to keep the full length of my skirt and hem it as it was, simply by folding over the raw edge twice, just a little bit, and securing with a stitch. And after hemming the skirt, this project is finished. So here's a reminder of how it looked before. And here's how it looks now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you did, and let me know if you have any suggestions for future videos. And have a beautiful day.